What's up, y'all? It's your boy Damien, and I'm back with an all new Baddies USA recap. You ready? It's the Baddies USA after show, and you better believe we're gonna talk about it. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me. I'm so thrilled that you decided to come and spend some time with your boy because we're going to be talking about this week's episode of Baddies USA. I'm also going to be releasing a video on these Bad Boys auditions. Yeah, we're going to be talking about both of those. Hopefully that'll be out this weekend for you guys to enjoy if you want to partake in that. But as for now, let's dive into this week's episode. All right, hope you all had a great week. And yeah, so this week's episode, we started with Natalie at the venue. Natalie's at the club. She's at the venue that they are going to be performing at because the girls are in Chicago for this tour that they're doing, right? So Natalie's in this, and the venue's empty besides the staff. There's people there behind the bar. There's like, staff at the venue. They're there walking around, and Natalie is just sitting there like either on the bar, or I forgot where she was on the bar. I think she was sitting on the bar or at the bar, one of the two. And she says to send in Summer, right? Because the girls pull up to the venue, but they want Summer to come in first. Natalie wants Summer to come in first. Production wants Summer to come in first because they want Natalie and her to have this, what I feel like is a manufactured conversation, okay? And, 'cause Natalie wants to cause a scene. Natalie wants a moment, and Natalie wants to give y'all some reality television, right? So she, brings up the fact that Summer called her phone so many times, and I think it was 5 times. She said, "I think Summer called." You called my phone 5 times, blase, blase, blah. But y'all, I'm so confused. And we talked about this last week because Miss Nunn, Madam Nunn, Natalie, Miss Chin, you, my darling, when Summer FaceTimed her, I wish we could play the clip. When Summer FaceTimed her, Natalie did not seem phased at all. Natalie seemed, interested, engaged. What's up, Summer? What you need? Yeah, okay. Like she was really listening to Summer and what her concerns were. So, and she even was on Summer's side at that point too. Do you guys remember in the scene? Natalie was like, "Yeah, if you were booed, you shouldn't be performing." When Summer told Natalie this is the problem, Natalie was like, "Yeah, you shouldn't be performing if that's what's going on." So, Where's the flip happening? Something happened from the time Natalie and Summer and them filmed that scene up until now. And I don't know if production tapped her on the back and was like, "Look, we want you to, the girls are saying this, we want you to pop off when Summer comes in." I don't know. Maybe Natalie just strategically in her mind, being on reality TV all these years, was like, "Oh, you know what? When Summer shows up, I'm going to go off on her for calling me like that." I don't know. What do you guys think? It was strange to me. I feel like she's doing the most and trying to have a scene. And look cool and show out in front of all these staff members, mind you, who are there just to do their job, and they got this Natalie Nunn in front of them just screaming like what, probably thinking what the fuck's going on. Now Summer says she didn't call Natalie multiple times. Now granted, we saw that too. We don't know what happened off camera. Maybe something happened that Zeus didn't capture, but what we saw on the episode is she called her one time. So I only have a reason to believe Summer in that situation, and Natalie does lie a lot. She's a known liar. Natalie is a known liar. She used to post on Instagram like pictures of like pink G-Wagons, for example. One time she posted a picture of this pink G-Wagon. She said, "On the way to pick up my new G-Wagon." You never saw her with that G-Wagon. You never saw her driving it. If someone were to purchase a vehicle like that, you're going to flex with it every day, every other week, whatever. She never posted it. She would always be like, she would post pictures of houses and be like, "Well, we're closing on this house next week." We're never moving the house. I mean, she lies about little stuff like that. So is it far-fetched that she's lying about Summer calling her 5 times? Yeah, it's probably just an exaggeration. Summer called her once and she made it 5 times. Now I do agree that they shouldn't have called her, period. Especially if she said, "Look, I'm going to this funeral. Rolly's going to be in charge." They should have never called her. Especially if you're going through something like that, somebody that you know, that you cared about, that you really loved, they pass away, and you want to go pay your respects. You don't want to be bothered about some bullshit that ain't even real. It's probably just manufactured, dumb reality TV shit, right? But it just felt like a good delay. Maybe it was a delayed reaction in the same at the same sense. I want to give Natalie the benefit of the doubt and say maybe it was just a delayed reaction. Maybe she got off the phone and was like, "Why the fuck is Summer calling me about this shit?" Maybe she got off the phone and started thinking about, like, I can't believe she really called me about this when I'm. So we're gonna give her the benefit of the doubt at the same time, but it just seems a little fishy to me. Now they get to talking about, who's performing and who got booed, who didn't get booed. And Anna says that, it's not that Summer's music is bad, it's because the crowd hates Summer. And which, okay, I can agree with that. But then she compares Summer to R. Kelly and says, well, I don't want to say she compares Summer to R. Kelly, but she gives it a comparison and says that, Anna says she still bumps R. Kelly music. I guess saying, I don't mean she has to like him, but she still bumps his music. I used to like R. Kelly's music. He made great music, but I'm not playing it. I mean, there's so many other great songs I could play. I mean, I'm not hating if you still play it. That's on you. And if one comes on the radio, I'm not gonna say I might, you know, not turn it. I don't know, but Anna seems like the type that would let R. Kelly piss on her. Uh huh. Now Smiley starts off the rehearsal. Okay, Smiley starts off the rehearsal because she's going to be opening the show, and you can tell that none of these girls are actual performers. All these girls are just people who want to be stars, want to be rappers, and they say, "Put me in a studio. I want to be an overnight success." Minus a few of these girls. I'm not saying everybody. I think that there are a couple that you could really have that have some star potential that you can mold into an actual star. But anybody can put their voice on a song, right? But can you perform? Anybody can put their voice to a track, but when it comes to being a star, can you go out on a stage and perform and command the crowd's presence and own the stage and not just stand there like this and rap and not look a fool or not just sit there and twerk or whatever you do? Can you command it? I can go here to this side of the stage and I can give the crowd what they want, and then I can move over here a little bit and give them what they want over here. You know, I'm just asking. Because to me, shaking your ass and putting your to me, that's just not performing. Like, I mean, even Tasiki, who I would consider out of the group as a performer, she gives me like she's not like, I wouldn't say she's the greatest performer ever. She's not the best, right? But out of these girls, if I was doing like a competition judging talent on rap and singing and whatnot. And I'm not a professional vocalist either, but just my perspective and point of view, Tasiki is one of the few that has like that. Um, I could see her in the music field and excelling in that lane. Do you know what I'm saying? So even Tasiki had to tell Smiley, like, because Smiley, when the rehearsal starts, she's just like singing her song and twerking. And it's like, no, baby, you need to, because Tasiki said, pretend you're holding a mic. Because you're going to be holding a mic the night of the show. And you're not going to have those hands that you're used to having free to twerk and do whatever you want to do with. I mean, I just feel like it's common sense. Like, that's how you can tell these girls aren't performers. Because if you're performing, and I mean, if you're rehearsing, you're going to rehearse like this because you know that you're going to have to be on stage and hit your moves and do whatever you got to do, blah, 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 blah. Unless you got one of them old school, hey now, this is what dreams are made of. The little, you know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. If you don't know, this video is too mature for you, okay? Um, but yeah, Smiley, this ain't the strip club. We don't want to see the diaper butts being thrown from left to right. We good. Just perform your song, baby. You can do a little 1-2 step, twerk 2 step there and there. But if that's all you bring in to the table, Now there was, I don't know if y'all peeped this, but there was a song. Y'all know how during the Zeus episodes they play songs for like 30 to 60 seconds in between scenes at the beginning, and it'll be like you'll see B-roll footage of like the city or whatever. You know how they'll play music, and it's usually artists we don't really know of. I think they try to help put unknown artists on, and I don't know if that's a collaboration deal. I don't know if the people pay Zeus to put their song up. I don't know if Zeus asked to. I don't know. I don't know if Zeus paid them to do their song. I don't know how that works, but I do know that there was a song that was playing this episode. I don't know who the artist is because they never credit who the artist is. Well, maybe they do at the end, but I don't. At the moment, we don't see who the artist is. But to me, the lyrics were very disturbing. So I'm like, Zeus, are y'all not watching your episodes from beginning to end before you publish it? Like when it's on the cutting room floor, or not the cutting room floor, when it's on the editing floor, are you not like reviewing from top to bottom before you publish? Because some of the lyrics were. Let me just read you guys some of the lyrics off here. Okay, I don't have any water, so I'm out of bottled water. I usually buy 3 cases of water, like a week, and I'm out. And y'all know how I am about my water now, having something to drink while I'm up here. Like it really does something to my voice when I talk for an extended period of time because believe it or not, in my real life outside of these cameras and shit, I'm not like a big talker. Like I like to stay to myself. I chill. So this is the most that I talk at a time up here on camera, and my voice is like feeling a little dry. My mouth is very dry. Like I could just chug a gallon of water right now. So if I sound off, um, you know why, bear with me. Now let's get into these lyrics that I was telling you guys that I felt were a little strange. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to this week's episode and fast forward until you see some of the B-roll footage and listen to the song. It says, I'm a super villain. I'm a super villain. Hide your kids, hide your wives, because that's how I'm feeling. Okay, let me repeat that again in case you didn't hear. The lyrics the lyrics were, I'm a super villain. I'm a super villain. Hide your kids, hide your wives, cause that's how I'm feeling. Um ew. Ew. Is that not strange? What does that mean? How are you feeling? Hide your kids, hide your wives, cause that's how I'm feeling. How are you feeling? First R. Kelly. And now hide your kids, hide your wives. That's how I'm feeling. Only on the Zeus Network. Only on the Zeus Network. Does nobody audit these episodes before they release them? I'm just asking. Now, Mariah, Biggie, they're outside in Chicago or wherever they are. And Summer walks up on them. Summer approaches Mariah and Biggie. And Summer lets them know that despite what Rolly and everybody else has said, she is performing tonight. And Mariah then approaches Summer and wants to put the beef that they have behind them and compliments her as an artist. So, I mean, that was a big moment because Mariah and Summer have been fighting and arguing for a while now. So they want to put the beef behind them. Mariah does that. Summer does that. I think they kind of hugged one another, if my recollection is correct. But, no shade, but major jump scare here. Major jump scare moment right here. Sorry, Natalie. It was just like, whoa. Whoa. Now, speaking of looks, I loved this look on Tesiki, okay? I loved this look on Tesiki. I don't know what it was about it. I just think it was really cute. I think it was the color of the hair and the clothes and the glasses. Now, backstage in the green room, the girls are talking about Nunu. All right. The girls are backstage talking about Nunu. You got Fauna back there, Tavy, Summer, and a few others. They're telling Scotty what's been going on. They're telling them about their drama with Nunu. Because Scotty just got back from Italy. Remember, we did an episode last week talking about Scotty and Lemmy and them being in Italy. Now, Aside from Nunu making the comment that she checks bitches' temperature, Tavy claims that she was also looking through people's bags on the bus. This is apparently one of the other reasons why they're mad at Nunu. Um, and Fauna says, yeah, I allowed her to look through my bag because apparently she was looking for something that she had lost. Apparently Nunu had lost something, so she was looking through some of the girls' bags. That rubbed some of the girls the wrong way. Of course, it would rub me the wrong way if somebody was digging through my stuff without asking me. But Fauna said that she did ask her. Um, doesn't mean she asked everyone, but whose side are y'all on in this situation? Nunu or everybody else? Because, well, not everybody else, but 4 or 5 of the girls seem like they're kind of like in this little agreement that they don't like Nunu, and apparently there was 2 Sprinter vans. The girls were traveling in 2 Sprinter vans because we know that they've got 600 cast members, and so they had 2 Sprinter vans, and Nunu left her bag on one of the 2 Sprinter vans that the girls ride on. So she went to look for her bag on one of the Sprinter vans, and Tavy ends up telling her when she gets on Tavy's Sprinter van, Tavy tells her, your bag is not on here. Your bag's not here. But I'm like, I agree with Nunu in a way when she says, how the fuck are you going to tell me what Sprinter my bag was on? Right? I mean, that's just how I would see it. Cause in a way, Tavy just be loud for no reason at times, and then she wonder why people call her DMX. You wonder why they call you DMX, sis. You just be doing too much for no reason. And I get that New Yorkers could be that way. Like a lot of New Yorkers are very, not all, but a lot of New Yorkers are very in your face, or they can be really, loud and listen. My aunt who is from here in the South is loud as fuck. So I'm not saying this is just a New York thing. I don't want anybody to get offended, but Tavy's just a little too much sometimes, if you know what I'm trying to say. Um, so yeah, we see Tavy and Nunu. They're arguing back and forth because Nunu feels like, look, I'm looking for my bag. You didn't own, buy this Sprinter van, so why the fuck are you talking to me? Let me look for my bag because. And listen, if I lost my bag too and there were 2 Sprinter vans, I want to look on both of them. I don't give a fuck which one I was riding on. I want to look on both of them just to make sure because they look damn near identical. Now, Tavy and Nunu, they're arguing back and forth over this situation, this stupid ass situation. And Nunu calls Tavy a weird bitch. And Tavy says, call me a bitch one more time. And Nunu calls her a bitch. And we all know what happens next. They get to scrapping. They get to scrapping. They get to fighting. Who y'all got on that one? Tavy or Nunu? Who y'all feel like won that? Like, we need some real now that's TV fighters on these shows because these are always playground fights. You know what I mean? Like, they never really. I mean, Nunu was acting a bit scary towards the end when Tavy was coming for that ass. So I'd probably have to give it that one to Tavy. I'm not gonna lie. Now, Tommy, I can't figure out if I like this look here or I hate it. I can't figure out if I like this look here or I hate it. Tommy hits and misses. I don't know. I respect her as a fashion girl and how she puts her pieces together. Because one thing you can't give Tommy is she ain't no basic bitch when it comes to dressing, and I love that about her. But sometimes the looks, and I'm no Tom Ford, right? But as a viewer, as a commentator, that's my opinion. Now, the show in Chicago starts, right? It's the night of the show. It's in Chicago. It opens up. It begins. Curtains opened. Lemmy comes out. Natalie comes out. Welcome to Baddies USA tour. And DJ Sky ain't even there. Okay? DJ Sky ain't even there. But then we see her turn around the corner. Here she come bopping in. Looking cute, I might add. I thought she looked cute in what she was wearing. But again, I think that's part of DJ Sky's problem is she is so consumed in trying to be a baddie and get dressed up and trying to be a star when she's supposed to be the DJ. So she's always fucking up. Now, Lemmy and his mistress Bobby. Lemmy and his mistress Bobby are both on stage, allegedly. Allegedly. They're both on stage on the mic, and when DJ Sky comes on stage, they tell her over the mic in front of everybody, DJ Sky, you're late. You're late, DJ Sky. You're about to get fired. That's what Bobby said. You're about to get fired. But the show ends up going on, and I'm confused because Smiley comes out, and then Gretchen comes out. But then Natalie says she's giving them another chance. So the whole, if you got booed, you can still, whatever. If you got booed, that whole thing, and you can't perform, that was out the door. Now she's allowing the girls to perform. I don't know what happened. I guess she had a change of heart overnight. But she's letting the girls that got booed perform. So Gretchen comes out doing her, I'm classy, petite, sexy, unique. I'm what these bitches want. Her song is really not that bad. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it's not a bad song. It's just she don't know how to read the room. Like, you can't be saying the N-word, sis, in a room full of black folks. We talked about this before. Like, come on, you just can't do it. And I just feel like 1+1=2, and she don't get it. And she needs to ride the little yellow bus because she's classy, petite, sexy, unique. She's what these ninjas want and these hoes want to be. I was like, okay, Gretchen. Now, why don't you just say ninjas, or why don't you just bleep it? I'm what these beep want, and these hoes wanna be. I don't know. Change the lyrics. She says, I'm not changing the lyrics. Well, you need to, cause you ain't about that, okay? Now, of course, Gretchen gets booed again, and watching her perform is like watching a high school talent show. I don't know about y'all, but I felt like I was back in my high school gymnasium. Yeah, because we didn't have an auditorium at my school. We had a gymnasium that we would do everything. We'd do everything at. So I feel like I'm back in the gymnasium watching the high school talent show. Where is the state's presence, Mamacita? Where is the star power? It's not there. Like she's like, and I don't give a fuck. I'm here to run it up. My name is Gretchen, and I'm what they want. Yeah, and I'm classy, petite, sexy, unique. It's just like, girl, it was lackluster, to say the least. Um, Now Gretchen has the nerve to say that the crowd is confused, and she knows that they love her. And I'm like, no, baby, confused is getting booed and thinking that motherfuckers love you. Come on now. What? Ditzy. All air up there. All air. Okay. Now, Summer comes out and she performs, and surprisingly, she didn't get booed. Surprisingly, Summer didn't get booed like she did in New York City. Some girls were twerking to her music. I'm like, okay, did Summer redeem herself with the Chicagoans? Her Summer's biggest problem to me, from what we saw, if what we saw was the correct edit, her biggest problem is when she's performing, she like either raps over the beat too fast, or she's already like, you're already rapping over a track, right? With her, all of them are, none of them are rapping to a raw beat. All of them are rapping to their tracks. They're singing over the playback. So if you're gonna sing over the playback, you gotta stay on beat with the word. I mean, regardless if you got playback or not, you gotta stay on beat. You gotta stay on beat, and you can't fumble over the words, and you can't get ahead of yourself or get behind. And that's what Summer and Tommy seem to do. We saw Tommy do that on their first performance. And how are we just on our second performance and we're on like episode, what, 11, 12? Like, come on now. Fauna comes out. We don't see any of her actual vocals. They just like play her song over the footage, which I thought, like, why can't, like, I want to hear them. I get they can't show everybody's performance in full length, but give us 10, 15, 20 seconds of each girl giving their live performance, because they just played Fauna's song over her performance. You didn't get to hear what she was saying, and it was really quick. I want to hear if she can actually sing rap, stay on beat too, right? So far it seems that the Chicago crowd is a lot more receptive to the girls than New York City was. Not that the New York crowd wasn't live, loud, in color, fun, pop, boom, chicka chicka, wow. Not that they weren't giving that. It just seemed like when it came to the booing, when it came to the all that, because baby, look, New York, we talked about this. New York, the New Yorkers last week wasn't playing. If they didn't like you, it was fuck you. Okay, and that's why they're New Yorkers, because New Yorkers are going to tell you exactly how they feel. Now Tinka performs next, and I don't like what she's wearing. Did y'all like what she was wearing? Like her literal ass was hanging out. I mean, you might as well have just been bottomless on stage. It was like this silver tight pants, but the back of the pants like went like this. I don't know if he was supposed to make a heart or what, but it literally did not cover any of her ass at all. Like she could have popped a squat and took a piss or a shit on stage right there. I mean, that would be easy at the club. Them pants would be easy. That'd be a easy access if you was trying to get some. You just all you gotta do is just toot it right up, and them pants and that pussy gonna spread right apart. Now, she ends up Tinka ends up calling out Dolly during her performance, and she says, "And it's always gonna be nah, Dolly, you lost." And baby, Tinkerbella got the crowd chanting, "Fuck Dolly, fuck." And I'm like, now damn, how did the Chicago crowd know to chant that same thing? Not both cities back to back chanting "fuck Dolly." Just when I thought Chicago was a little bit less tame, a little bit more receptive to the girls, they said, "No, baby, it's fuck Dolly too. Dolly, you down too, sis. Two of two, two of two, sis. You down. This ain't looking good. Dolly, you won't be back next season, okay? Because any smart conglomerate business, whatever you call it, any smart business would see that the consumer does not value nor appreciate Bad Dolly, aka bad diapers, so it only makes sense to get rid of her. That's just me. Like, why would you bring back somebody that when you take her out to your public events, the crowd chants "fuck her, fuck Dolly"? It's happened both in New York and Chicago. Now, unless the entire New York crowd just came to Chicago show too, but that's not what happened. People just don't like Dolly. They don't like her. Now, Mariah Lynn comes out to perform next. And apparently, when she starts performing, her music stops playing mid song. Okay? Apparently, Mariah's music stops playing mid song, and Mariah's like, "Hold up, hold up, hold up. Why are we not playing my song?" And I'm just like, there ain't no way that DJ Sky keeps fucking up this many people's songs. Like, there's no way. There's no way. Like, is she purposely sabotaging these girls' songs? Is she just a bad DJ and don't know what she's doing? Is she drunk or high? Like, I'm starting to think that this girl was never a real DJ and she just woke up one morning and decided that she wanted to be one and called herself DJ Sky, and then Zeus hired her. Um, I mean, somebody make it make sense. Is this girl a real DJ? Or did Mariah Lynn fuck up just like Tommy did, and she's trying to blame it on DJ Sky in you know, the way Tommy did when she was stumbling over her track and tried to spin it on DJ Sky? Or maybe, listen, maybe DJ Sky really is fucking up. It has happened before. This is not the first time, Sky. Now, according to DJ Sky, she says that she went on her laptop to play Mariah Lynn's song, and she typed in "Once Upon a Time" by Mariah, and apparently it was the Jersey Club remix. or something like that. But DJ Sky's defense is that, look, they all send me their files. Mariah Lynn sent me the file. She said, I'm not the one who got the file, so who is to blame here? But my thing is, first of all, would you as a DJ not want to hear each track just to make sure? Number one, DJ Sky. I get what she's saying. Mariah sent the track, and if she sent the wrong track, yes, it should be Mariah's fault too. But what I'm confused about is, I thought this is what rehearsal was for. Shouldn't y'all have known before the performance that DJ Sky had the Jersey Club remix of Once Upon a Time Not Long Ago I Was a Hoe? Y'all should have known. If we would have if y'all would have actually, this just shows they didn't really rehearse. If you would have really rehearsed, you would have known that, oh shit, we got the Jersey Club remix. We need to get the regular one. Something don't make sense and don't add up. And what I can take from it is that Mariah Lynn, DJ Sky, and a lot of other ones never even rehearsed. They just show up and they do karaoke to their song because they're not real performers. And you wonder why, Mariah Lynn, you're not at Cardi B status that you want to be so bad. Now, just when I'm trying to give DJ Sky the benefit of the doubt, they announced Tesiki as the next performer on stage, and all of a sudden, you hear Lemmy, the CEO of Zeus, who's always there, who's now a baddie, you hear him say, DJ Sky, you're fucking up. You're fucking up, DJ Sky. And then we seen a confessional that Natalie says DJ Sky was high. She was late. And here's my thing, DJ Sky. It would help you tremendously if you would take those big fucking snowboarding glasses off your head while you're in a nightclub. Because did y'all notice how DJ Sky was when they were like getting on her ass? She was like this in her computer. She had this is her laptop, right? She had a laptop. This was her. DJ Sky, you're fucking up. Meanwhile, you got these big ass fucking glasses on, and you wonder why you probably hitting the wrong track, fucking shit up. You can't see. You can't see. She were out looking cute. Now, all throughout the show, she was doing that, looking like an 80-year-old woman. I mean, I don't get why we even have to keep going through this. Like, they hire her when they know what kind of job that she's going to do. And not only that, like, who's going to, like, this show has been bad for DJ Scott because who's going to want to book you? I wouldn't want to book you if you're going to come fuck my show up because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And shame on you, Zeus. Y'all know what y'all are doing. Why do y'all keep hiring her? Like, that's like you starting a business and you hiring someone and they're not catching on and you keeping them. And then you get mad later that they're not doing well. Well, bitch, you should have hired them. Now, I'm going to give it to Biggie. I've praised her song in the past that I love, and I'm going to give her props for her stage presence. Biggie is a perfect example of what having stage presence is that these girls don't have. You know, she gets the crowd hype. She knows what, she knows, she has energy. No, you don't have to act like you just snorted a line of coke or drank a Red Bull and just run all over the stage. But engage, have fun, party. We're in the club atmosphere. That is what it is about. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but Biggie, outside of Baddies, Biggie, I don't like her for Baddies. I just don't like her personality and how she is. However, there are people who do. She has a niche for somebody. Is it niche or niche? She has a niche for somebody. She has a demographic for someone, And I think Biggie does have some star potential. I do. I really do. But I just feel like, with Baddies, she tries to put on, she's acting as this thug persona that she's never been and that she will never be. You were a club promoter back in LA or back in wherever you're from, California, somewhere. And it's just, it's cool. You're a regular girl that was a club promoter, and you might have been that girl in your city, but you weren't like banging like that. So let's not pretend that you be and I get the show is Baddies, and there's probably a lot of pressure for these girls. Well, I know there's a lot of pressure for these girls to be a certain way, but being yourself is going to always get you the furthest, Biggie. Now, Tommy comes out next to perform with a wine glass in her hand and a blunt. And listen, bitch, I'm like, that right there is iconic in itself. Now, listen, should she be having a blunt and wine glass in her hand while performing? Probably not, but I like it, okay? Bitch, that's me. Right there. White wine and a blunt. Perfect combo. I'd rather have a margarita, but I can go with a white wine, okay? Um, I'm not faulting Tommy for doing her thing with her white wine and her blunt, but if you're going to do it like that, have your shit together. Be buttoned up and ready, right? Be a functioning pothead while drinking wine head, okay? Because Tommy's like, she's just fucked up all the time. I've noticed this season. Have y'all noticed that? And I love Tommy. I'm not trying to shame her, but there was no performing. It was just yelling in the mic and saying Tommy shit. But hey, what should I expect any different? No one's ever gonna take her serious as a performer like that if she doesn't take it serious herself. That's just word of advice for you, Tommy. Not like she's watching, but. So the show is ending, right? And Natalie is performing. I've been doing what I want. It's a pickup in the back and a trunk in the front. Pink tequila in the back, baddie blunts in the front. Purse one of one, first one of one. I got the money, make a broke bitch mad. I don't complain, I just pay the tab. Show me what you have. I don't care what you have. Me, I've been stacking it. Have you ever been to the Maldives? This is lavish. Margarita under palm trees is extravagant. Party with a baddie, you will never see your man again. I just had to do that. I got fuzz. There's some fuzz flying across the screen. It's from my hoodie. Anyway, so Natalie's performing, and Rolly's out there dancing while all the girls are on stage while Natalie's performing, doing what I want. And Tommy, being drunk, comes from behind Rolly, like this, but she like kisses her or something. But you can tell from the front that it probably hurt. Rolly said it hurt. Rolly wasn't feeling it. She hit her in the nose. According to Rolly, clocked her in the nose. Rolly is low-key pissed, but she said she didn't want to make a scene on stage or retaliate because her and Tommy are in a good place. And my thing is, like, I know, you know how drunk people are. They're very loose. They're very lackadaisical. They don't really give a fuck. So I'm sure it did hurt. I'm sure it did hurt. Now what I don't like, especially when you're having a good time and you just all of a sudden clock somebody drunk just hit you because they trying to be cute. And I know it wasn't intentional, but it's like, bitch, just be aware. Wake up and be aware, Tommy. Goddamn, get it together, sis. Now what I don't like is that Rolly said her face is throbbing, and she damn sure ain't doing a meet and greet. And it just it rubbed me the wrong way because I'm like, you know what? You see, that's the problem right there with y'all. That's the problem with a lot of y'all girls on this show. They get too big for their britches, as my grandma used to say. Too big for your britches, boo. If it wasn't for the people who are showing up, paying for these shows, let me rephrase that. If it wasn't for people showing up and overpaying for these talent shows and paying these Zeus Network subscriptions, because it's not a proper tour. Let's just get that straight. It's a talent show, okay? A talent show full of a bunch of clowns. And if you have the nerve to sit up here and say you're not going to do a meet and greet because you're upset, your nose didn't get busted. You'll be okay. It was an accident. Take it up with Tommy. Don't take it out up on the fans who possibly driven far to see you, paid money to see you, bought a hotel, rented a car, put gas in, fed themselves, and now you want to talk about, I'm not doing it. Maybe they were there just to specifically meet you because it promoted a meet and greet. It's called being professional, Rolly. You're not Beyonce. I didn't like that. Now, what we didn't see is that Rolly said that Tommy would not let her go during that instance. She held on to her when she had her arms around her. And Tommy asked Rolly after, like, she was like, are you going to fight me? You want to fight me or something? Because I guess she could feel Rolly's energy, that Rolly was pissed, like, get the fuck off of me. And when we learned tonight, too, that there apparently was a no showing up drunk rule to these shows. They had told all the girls that there was a rule that you couldn't show up to the performance or rehearsals drunk. But, there are exceptions for people, and Tommy is obviously an exception. We see Tommy doesn't have to be on the sprinter or the bus with the girls. We see Tommy doesn't have to stay in scenes for extended times with the girls. Tommy leaves when she wants. Tommy can show up to rehearsal drunk and high. They treat her like with special peripheral treatment, and I've heard she gets paid a lot more than any of these girls too. So and I'd low key be mad if I was a Rolly or a Scotty and somebody like Tommy was getting paid just as much as me. Like, well, you could look at it from, because I guess it's her celebrity, but she was on Love and Hip Hop. Like, I love Tommy, but if I've been on this show 6, 7 seasons, why is she getting paid the same and she's only been on the show 3, 4 seasons? And not even full seasons. Tommy did like 1, 2 episode cameos. I guess Janelle and Jayla are joining the cast full time. They made an announcement tonight, but I mean, hell, I thought they already were cast members. Shit, we've been seeing them not in every episode, but here and there they pop up. So I just figured they were. But I guess they're gonna be touring with the girls and coming along the ride and whatever. Now the girls are heading to Detroit, right? The next stop is in Detroit. We went from New York to Chicago, now to Detroit, and they're getting on the Sprinter van. And Mariah is bitching about DJ Sky, right? And Troutmouth Tinkerbella gets on the bus screaming, I love Detroit. She gets on the bus. She's like, I love Detroit. She's excited to go to Detroit. And DJ Diaper, I'm sorry, not DJ Diaper. Bad Diaper, a.k.a. Bad Dolly, when she sees Tinkerbella walk on the bus and say, I love Detroit, Tinkerbella don't even get fully on the bus. She walks up a few steps. And Bad Dolly goes in on Tinkerbella. And baby, when I tell you that Dolly Cloud, now I don't know if this is true, but what it looked like from these two blue eyes, my perception was it looked like Dolly clobbered that hoe. Okay? That was not a good, easy fall. I mean, because she attacked her and they went down. You know how when you walk up on a bus or a van or, a bus. When you walk up on a bus, you have to walk up those steps. She charged her and attacked her down those stairs and they just went tumbling. Onto the concrete, bitch. Yes. Now, next week, Mariah checks DJ Sky over her fucking up her song. Dolly kicks Summer in the head. Go see Dolly kick Summer in the head. Dolly and Tavy fight on the bus. That goes down. Scotty says that she's ready to have a conversation with Natalie because, that's going to be juicy because Natalie is jealous that Scotty is fucking the CEO of the Zeus Network because low-key Natalie wanted that spot. And now Scotty is the HOH. Natalie is no longer the HOH. Now whatever Scotty wants, she's going to get because she's sleeping with the man and having a baby with the man and dating the man who owns the network. So we're going to see them have a conversation next week. Cold Killer takes off on Bad Dolly next week and they get to fighting. And then Dolly fights Tavy. Then Summer. Dolly's fighting everybody. It's a lot going on next week, okay? All that and more right here on Damien After Dark with the official Baddies USA After Show. You don't want to miss it, and I hope you'll join me each and every week as we recap and discuss the episodes. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like this video, Join the conversations by getting in the comment section below. Hype this video up by giving me some hype points down there. The hype feature is a new feature that allows small creators like myself to be hyped up so we can be seen by the platform and get a bigger audience. All right. I love you so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Damien After Dark.